asking me, tell us, wewe unanunua KPC? Nimeulizwa na watu wengi hivyo sana. Unanunua zile pipeline? I can't tell you what to do. Because markets, you can, even your own stockbroker cannot tell you what to buy. Because they can tell you in good faith, and then the markets misbehaves. Because the markets are not just fundamental. But I want you to take on this. I'm just trying to make a point on why listed companies are so cheap. Let me use Kenya Pipeline. It's not yet listed. Iweke hapa. Do you know anyone with an idea it's valued at how much? At the IPO valuation? The whole company. Even if si mnaweza gogo hata nyinyi saa ingine mnaniangusha kiasi. How much? 160 what? Just Google. There's a point I want us to make. Nataka to make collectively. Madam Director, please come help me. There's a point I want to demonstrate. Unajua nimekuwa nikijiongeleza hapa. Nataka, there's something I want to push in kama conversation. You see the conversation mutakuwa nayo jioni. I want us now to stop now the lecture. We come to a conversation. Please come help me. My brother, come kuja na hiyo karatasi. Tafadhali nisaidie. Karamu na hiyo karatasi tusaidiane watatu hapa. Hii mambo hakuna haja ya kuongea ati I'm looking down hapa nikiwa juu. Rather, let's converse so that the point can get home. And my point is, kuja, nataka kukuwe na witness. Haya, andika Kenya KPC. Hata nyi andikeni. I want you to refer, this is my last point anyway. Ya mwisho simuandike tu tafadhali hata kama. You know nowadays tunasemanga iko YouTube, I'll go to rewatch. But there's a point I want us to make so that we can use it. Do you know what I want us guys? There are low-lying fruits in the NSC. Let's exhaust them as a country so that we start thinking. You know why? Me, I can't think. You tell me, oh, start a new company. Why do I need to start a new company when I'm getting cheap companies in the NSC? Why? So, companies grow when you exhaust low-lying fruits. China grew by first exhausting labor. So, because it was almost free to employ people, labor-intensive industries, low-lying fruits, unamalizana. After you finish, you go to skill-based. They went to skill-based. Wakamalizana. Because of barriers of entry also. Capital-intensive because they now were having some money. So you broke other people based on the might of capital you have. Then you grow. Then you plow back the same process from this capital to become technology-intensive. So if the economy grows by picking low-lying fruits, even us here in Kenya will grow by first of all picking low-lying fruits. Tumalizane nazo. The low-lying fruit in Kenya now is the NSC. For you guys seated here. Not passive. Become huge participants. Huge. Why are we having World Bank investing money in our private companies when you are oversubscribing our T-bills? How? KPC. Na nataka tuulizane maswali. So you can use Google also. 163. Make a column. Make a column. Moja uiweke valuation. The first column, call it valuation. The second column, call it profit. And the last column, call it PE ratio. It's the simplest way of measuring an investment. It must not be a jargon in this. It can be a jargon elsewhere, but not here. PE ratio, price over earning ratio. And the other way to measure PE ratio is net profit, capitalization divided by net profit. That's the other way of measuring PE ratio. Haya, Madam Director, kuja ukue kama witness. Na hii tunafanya wote. so that you go make your own judgment, because I don't want to talk about whether to buy or not, because I'm a politician, but on the other side I'm an investor. So I may, and as a politician, I have a different view from the one I have as an investor. So that's why I can't tell you. I am going to give you the analysis. Higher. Mumeweka column 1, 163. 163.6. That is the valuation. So, shares, you don't look at the share price. That's something I always see. When I tell somebody, oh, buy DTB. Share inatoka 115. Nitanunua hii, ingine inatoka 3 shillings. But you have not even looked at how many shares are listed. You know, capitalization is the price times the number of shares listed. So don't just look at the price. When you're evaluating a company, look at it like you are buying the whole of it. Because a share is a proportion of that company. Higher. The reason I'll be using these 4 companies, I'll use 4, is because when Kenya Pipeline is listed, it will be under a segment called energy segment in the NSC. NSC iko na segments: automobiles, agriculture, banking, insurance, kuna energy. So kwa hiyo energy itakuwa hii ikikuwa listed. The second one will be umeme ya Uganda. The other one will be Kenya Power. The other one will be KenGen, and the other one will be Total. So I'll not use umeme, I'll use the Kenyan ones. Higher. KPC tumeandika 163.6. What is their last profit? We will not take the last. We will take the highest. The last is not the highest. The highest they have ever made, according to the books I've seen, is 12 billion bottom line. That's the highest profit they have ever made. Last year was lesser. Yes, 12 is the highest they have ever made. What I have seen in the books. But of course, those people who've been in the market know the dynamics. They are not like it. I am certain they will release half-year results of around 10 because there is an IPO. Just write somewhere, because some of these things I'm saying is the predictions we do in the market when even you do them. I'm sure they will release the first half, quarter was around 5. The second half, quarter was around 5. So, but I don't want us to use there. I want us to use 12. But I'm just telling you, when there is an IPO, part of that IPO comes with, lazima upake kampuni rangi kiasi. So they are likely to announce half-year profit of 10. And they are actually also likely to be oversubscribed. Because the share, it started the IPO on 17th. If they stopped on 17th evening, it was already oversubscribed. Not by Kenyans. The allocation done on the paper. I'm telling you the facts. Just look at the results after the announcement. Most all companies will have been made to buy the shares. Not that they will have bought, they will have been made. Just look at, you know, when you live in Kenya, you don't struggle to see trades. I can tell you from Kenya, the second investor will be a Ugandan, but that Ugandan will be Kenyan. Si result iko in a month's time, utaniambia. You can be assured the biggest applicants in terms of quantum will be all marketers. Some who you have never known, they are actually all marketers. But the number 2 from Kenya will be Ugandan. And at the line, it will be a Kenyan Ugandan. And it will be a company. Okay. Wacha tusiongee siasa leo. Kenya Power. Valuation. Valuation. Just Google there. Saki kutumia my words. Just go, somebody to Google for me, Kenya Power market cap today. You know market cap, I hope you know market cap. The valuation of the company using the share prices. That's why you heard me talk about this Safaricom issue the other day, because it is just too grossly incompetent to talk about markets. And you will see just now when you are valuing a company and selling a big stake. Somebody go for me, Kenya Power market cap. Yeah? 28. Decimal wacha tuache. 28. Can you go for me there? Kenya Power profits in 2025. In 2020, the recent one is 2020. Yes, 2025, because they end their financial year in June. Just go for me. I want you to, and please write. And I'm saying this because even this whole, I've already been asked by somebody, do I buy this share? No, I want you to do it for yourself, right? 24B, hata tuachane na decimal points. So, how do you calculate P ratio ndio tuende tukimaliza yote? This is P ratio, you can just do valuation divide by earnings, which is net. So hii ya kwanza divide 164 divide by 12. I've used the highest. Ile wametumia juzi is even lower. 164 divide by 12. 13.6. That's the highest ever. I'm reminding you, I'm not using the, ile walitumia ni lower. It's like half of this. It's 13, yes. Hii ya kwanza tumepata 13 P ratio. Haya, power. Divide 28 divide by 24. No, 1.2. Higher. Kengen, listen here. Kengen is one of the best dividend payers because they pay 75% of their earnings. But I don't want us to focus on dividends. We focus on the company. Can you Google for me market cap of Kengen? It's around 63 billion. Weka 63. Google for me Kengen profit 2025. It's around 10. But Google. $10.5. Higher. Divide for me 63 divide by 10.5. Na muandike pahali. Hii kitu nataka muende nayo nyumbani. 6. Let's go to Total Kenya. The market cap should be around 6.7. But check. Should be 6.7, but check. Total Kenya market cap. Total Energies. Market cap. It's around 6.7, I'm sure. Anyone who has gotten? Yeah, 6.7. Higher profit, just check. Total Kenya half-year profit 2025. Half-year. Judio imetoka. Full year itatoka maybe next month. Must be about 1.1? 1.1. So times 2? 2.2. So 2.2. Divide 6.7 divide by 2.2. 3. 3, eh? Madam Director, I request, for this question I'm going to ask the company to give just a gift, if hata kama ni hika bukure, to the person who will answer. Anything, just to remember. Can anyone from the audience who was writing, please, just come and tell me what you have, after writing, what comes to your mind? You don't come, even, you can say it there. Yes, there's a lady here. Let's get like 2. And any other? After writing, what comes to your mind after you write?
For me, I think I would buy Kenya Power.
Please rise,
Okay.
so that you help us.
I'd put a lot of my money in Kenya Power. The reason being, it would only take me 1 year to recover my money. But for KPC, it would take me approximately 14 years to recover my investment.
Makofi tafadhali. I am happy to know that people are listening. Any other person? Even if you repeat what you have, in other words. You know mtu anasema, you know you guys, unaona kabuka mtu anasema, just to add on to that. Yes.
Hata siwezi anguka mtihani, I repeat the previous speaker's sentiments.
Can also somebody tell us about even the others? You have mentioned the 2 extremes. You can mention what you have learned about the others. Anyone who wrote that graph, what you have learned and what comes to your mind? Iko, my brother there. My brother there. I want 2 people and somebody else, Wamusho. Just 2 people. This is part of reinforcing the lesson. The last person in Nani. If you get a lady, my brother there. The very last, a lady. There is a lady next there. Okay, let's go. And you can write so that other people may have attention. Unaamuka tu ukisema.
The P/E ratio 13.6 for Kenya Pipeline does present a risk of overvaluation. It could be overpriced. So there's that risk element that maybe the share price could be overvalued. And yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, my take on this, Total is 4 times better than KPC.
Thank you. What I gather is that the listed companies appear better value for money. KPC, not as good as the listed companies. Thank you.
Any other person? Thank you very much. Let's clap for them. Please, you may sit. Hata nikimalizia hapo, nimesema kitu. Si nimenyamaza tu. So what I mean, many times we rely on people, on professionals to guide our money. But some of the decisions we need to make when you are investing are too. Can you just imagine you never read in a book? They are too close by. You just went on your phone and all the relevant information you needed, you have it. So, markets also have other things. You may not know what has been hidden there. So that's why it's difficult to tell somebody. As a politician, I may talk, but this is not the forum. But as an investor, you have talked. You get what I mean? So, and in all the other banking, you look at something called core capital versus the valuation. That's how you value. When you're buying a bank stock, you look at the core capital or shareholders' funds, because core capital applies to the bank, which is only operating in Kenya. But most of the Kenyan banks are operating regionally, and they have subsidiaries. So shareholders' funds also captures subsidiaries. You know, core capital is a statutory requirement to list. But shareholders' funds also now incorporates whether you are a bank, the Ugandan one, the Tanzanian one, and the rest. So always look at the percentage between the valuation and the core capital. as I finish, very lastly, I also want to plead to Kenyans, and I want to plead to the government. When we give our considered opinion, we are giving it for Kenya to benefit. I still hold, because the truth, you cannot rub it. The truth will remain to be the truth. The valuation of Safaricom at 34 shillings is grossly undervalued, as you have seen in our computation here today. We have seen here that Kenya Power is valued at 28 billion. Even at that, double that, which is 56 billion. Do we think government can sell Kenya Power for 56 billion? They can't. Yet it's double price of what the market is trading. So I'm also appealing that all of us, let us purpose to put up Safaricom transaction in an international bid. Because people will compete for our shares, which is a 15% stake. And you can be guaranteed the 2 or 4 billion we are getting, we are going to get more than 350 billion from other people bidding for Safaricom shares. Because our market has been undervalued. And when it is undervalued, it is not the right parameter to measure the share you own. It is the right one to measure the share you want to buy, not the share you want to sell. And you have seen in the market, yesterday night, you saw that Nedbank from South Africa is buying NCBA. It is buying NCBA at a price of around 102 shillings because it's 1.24 to book value. It's about 1.4 to book value. So the share was trading at below 70 before any news of a takeover came up. But now the company, in terms of the valuation at which Nedbank is buying NCBA, is more than 50% of that price. Meaning the market was not valuing NCBA the way it ought. And that's why there is already a transaction of the market at a much higher price. There is a transaction happening in Kenya now of a company called EABL. The IGO is selling to Asahi of Japan. The share price today, as you can check on the internet, of EABL is 244 shillings. 244. Yet, the IGO and Asahi, they are transacting the same share at 590 shillings. 590. How can we then be so incompetent as a Kenya that we are selling up our government assets based on market price? The idea is not basing on market price. Nedbank is not basing on market price. Why should Safaricom be based on market price? Then you lose up value. I think when we say these things, it's not politics. It is about Kenya getting an extra 150 billion to build more roads to prosper Kenya and our systems. The very last thing I want to announce to all of you here is, my brothers and sisters, what we did in Keharu in terms of launching a program of learners paying 500 shillings per term. It is the journey towards totally free basic education in Kenya. And we are going to make it happen. And we want to start with day secondary schools. And I'm not throwing this to anyone to do it. I will also be part of doing it. And I'm requesting a very simple formula. Instead of me doing this program in Keharu and another one doing it in their constituency, and the discrepancies between this and the other one in terms of constituencies, my proposal is simple. And we'll do it, and I can assure you, I'll be the champion of this until it is done. CDF at Nairobi level, even before it comes to Keharu, every constituency must be cut 30 million Kenya shillings, which will amount to 10 billion Kenya shillings nationally. We put that money into a kitty we are going to call day secondary school kitty. The governors in the equitable share to also contribute 10 billion Kenya shillings. Even before it reaches, the treasury should deduct the 10 billion. the national government, and especially the Ministry of Education, to also rearrange their budget and raise an extra 10 billion Kenya shillings. We put that money into a kitty of day school. Kenya requires only 30 billion shillings to make day secondary school education free and totally free, including lunch. And Kenya must start that journey today, not tomorrow. We must never use basic education ever again as a tool anywhere in the election period. The day secondary school and basic education must be made free. And by the way, my goal is for us to have free basic education from term 2 of 2026. Because education, in all economic models, education is the #1 parameter of an economy, for economy to grow. It brings R&D, it brings technology, it brings about skills. We must make this available. Whether I'll be alone as a member of parliament, I'll do it and it will happen. Thank you very much.